as we try to take them from kind of the middle of the road team they are right now to hopefully, you know, Dynasty capable of winning a couple of World Series here by the end of this series. Got opening day for you here against the Cleveland Indians. Paxton's leading us, going up against Rajai Davis for his first bat of the year and really the first couple of pitches, and it's already not starting well as Davis smacks one into the left center gap, and that goes over for a ground rule double. So already we have man on second, no outs, and it's only the top of the first here, and it's you know, if bad omens are a thing, right? You know, baseball is a game of superstition, and this is not the way we want to go. Next up is Michael Brantley, who with a 3-2 count is able to foul off a high fastball and stay with it. You know, got a lot of promise. I don't know how this first year will go, but I think got a lot of promise. Brantley grounds out over to the third and keeps Davis over at second. So, you know, nothing too bad. We get one down, but we're facing the dangerous Jose Ramirez up next, and you know, it's going to take a lot to get out of this early jam. But with a 1-2 count, it's looking good for Paxton. Try to drop that curveball right down in there and get some swinging for the first strikeout of this season. Next up is Josh Donaldson, big time power hitter. So we got to be careful around him and don't want to give him too much. Paxton will start off going a little high. You can see I'm using quick counts. I think it's just a little bit better, a little bit easier. Helps speed up the gameplay a little bit and you know, allows us to look at some of the more interesting events as time goes on. You'll have to let me know how you want this series to kind of go. If you want to see, you know, every pitch, every out, or if you want to see kind of the highlights. That's how I'm kind of envisioning it right now and how I've kind of done this game. Also, you'll notice that this is kind of, you know, I'm recording over after already playing. The episodes after this will probably change that up, and I'll probably record my voice as the game goes on. But again, let me know if you prefer this way. I want to be as collaborative as possible with you. We get Donaldson there, striking him out and leaving the man stranded at second. So Paxton, you know, while giving up the early hit, he's able to pull through and get our guys back, you know, back up to the plate. D. Gordon's going to lead off here, the speedster, see if he can do something. And that is not what we want him to do, swinging at those low pitches. Yeah, but hopefully he can come through. He hits a little dinker into center field. It should be, and it drops over the second baseman, and with that speed, yeah, you're never catching him. That's a double, even though it, you know, barely made it out to center field for D. Gordon, and we're looking to take the driver's seat right away. You know, both leadoff hitters coming out strong with a double. Cameron Maben's up next, and it gets down in the count early. See if he can get the run across. He hits it pretty hard back into the left center gap, but that's not going to have it. We'll send D. Gordon with that speed, and yeah. You know, you're not going to win games. Yeah, not taking risks, but you're not going to win games like that either. So we get thrown out at third, and our, you know, big guy Nelson Cruz up next. That would have been perfect for him, easy for him to drive in the run, but instead we got two down here in the bottom of the first. And yeah, Nelson Cruz takes that first pitch. It goes 3-1. He's in the driver's seat now. Swings at some garbage that would have put him on first base. 3-2 count, our inning that could have been something. It's kind of turned into nothing here, but we'll see if we can get a 2-out rally going. He drills it down the third base line, but it's just foul. Next pitch. And another foul. So he's just on it right here. Again, just brings back the, you know, what could have been if D. Gordon was still on second. You know, anything into the outfield, that's an easy run and opens our game, you know, opens this game up early and puts us, you know, right where we want to be. Instead, we're going to have to work a little bit harder and hopefully come around. Next pitch Nelson Cruz finally makes contact and keeps that on the the inside of the foul line and drives that into left field for his first single of the year. That I don't know if that would have been a run. I mean, he hit it pretty hard. Left fielder got to it pretty early. It would have been a close play. Might have if I didn't get him thrown out at third, I might have got him thrown out at home. But yeah, oh well. Next up is Mike Zunino, and he grounds out to the third baseman. And just like the Indians, we kind of squander our first big hit of this season, really. Next up is Francisco Lindor, and he's definitely one to watch. He's going to be a little bit dangerous. We're kind of pitching around him here. And that one goes just foul. That would have been dangerous. That would have been an easy double there over to the left field. Watches that high fastball, and the count goes 3-2. Also, if you can hear the announcers' voices, I didn't realize till too late that I'd left those on. So the first couple innings, you'll hear some awkward commentary, but I fixed that later on, and so hopefully you'll just be hearing the sounds kind of after that. End up walking him, lead off walk, which is never good. Paxton again kind of getting himself into this early jam, not looking stellar in this first inning. And then, Kyle Seager pulls that out of third base, and it is, early contender for Gold Glove right there. I mean, that was to his right, backhanded jump throw over to the second, still in time to turn the double play. I mean, that was pretty spectacular. Next up, Edward Encarnacion takes the high fastball, goes 2-2, and he'll ground out as well to Seager, who again just makes an absolutely phenomenal play. This inning, goes to Seager. We end the season right here in the third inning of the first game. My vote is Gold Glove goes to him. We don't just shut the rest of the season down. We don't need to play it anymore. That was it. That's all we needed. Mitch Haniger will start off for us. He drives it down to the shortstop, who makes a great play again, but just can't quite get the ball over to them. And here you can see I finally fixed that commentary and shut that off. So you don't have to listen to that, and you can only listen to my beautiful voice, as exciting as that is, right? But some great defense here early on. Not quite able to pull that through is Francisco Lindor, but still a great play. Still, those are really hard back in the hole there and trying to get the ball across the infield. Even though Haniger might not be the fastest guy, he still was able to beat it out. And then we have Nard Span just looking absolutely silly on that one. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Haniger. I realized I skipped over the second inning because nothing really happened too exciting there. So that was actually Ryan Healy who was able to beat out that play to the shortstop. Up is D. Gordon, who had that little Texas leader double into center field, and he looks like he's trying to do it again, right? He pops up a little one into right field, but unfortunately this one doesn't fall, and it's going to be the second out of our inning. Following him will be Cameron Maben, who showed a lot of early promise in his career. He was one of those guys that got a lot of speed, looking really good, and then I haven't heard too much from him since then. He grounds out. They get it over to the second for the third out of the inning. Jump forward to the top of the fourth here. Brantley's got a 2-2 count. Goes wide. Paxton goes wide again. Again, kind of facing some control issues. There's been a lot of walks, a lot of issues. Kind of, it's the first game of the season, so he's not got his great stuff. He pitched fairly well throughout this whole game. Just every now and then giving up, not making the pitches that he wanted to make. Brantley ends up grounding out to the second baseman for the first out of the inning. Next up we go 1-2 on Jose Ramirez. Let's see if we can strike him out for the second time of the game. And not quite. Just like I was talking about that control issue that Paxton was kind of having here throughout the game. He nails Ramirez right in the leg, and that is not what you want to see. But Donaldson doesn't do much of anything and pops up into foul territory for this second out of the ball game. This throughout this whole game, you'll kind of see it was a really big, pretty great pitching battle. Not a lot of runs scored. We definitely hit quite a few more, and they got on base through walks and stuff like that a lot more. But still, both pitchers looked really good, especially through the first couple innings coming out opening day. As we get Francisco Lindor to just pop out to the center fielder, and that'll do it for the top of the fourth. Next up, we have our big guys. We got Nelson Cruz, Mike Zunino, and Mitch Haniger up, leading the way. Nelson Cruz, who singled in his last bat, look at this 2-2 pitch. And he'll drive that one into center field. If they weren't paying the shift on him, that might have been into the gap and could have gotten us another leadoff inning double, which would have been great to get our first run across. But anyway, no man out, and we got Nelson Cruz sitting over there at first. Next up is Zunino. And he'll ground this one out to first, and there goes that double, grounds into a double play, and we go from having some promise to almost being shut down. Now we got 2 outs down here in the fourth, and looking like it's going to be another 0 put up by both pitchers this inning. Ooh, and that is nasty as Haniger drives it right back up against the pitcher, nails him. Looked like he got him right in the back. Those are never good. I mean, right, best case scenario, you got a knot the size of, the size of the baseball where you can actually see the seams, right? I've had a couple of those where, that's best case scenario where you only get away with a huge bruise that's going to be a black and yellow for the next week or so. So they'll give him a single on that one as couldn't quite throw him out after taking that beating. And next up is, our Gold Glover, right? Our Gold Glove contender of the game of the year, Kyle Seager, who looks at that early strike, and goes down 1-2. Fouls another one off here to stay alive. He's really just looking to put something in play, keep this inning alive here. Watches the outside sinker, got a good guy and draws it back 2-2. And just fighting them off, just battling. I mean, this is really what we want to see from our players, right? Is that they're not giving up early. They're not swinging at 2 bad pitches. I mean, that was a ball, but it was, anything close to 2 strikes. That's really important to see that we're still fighting. And that is not what you want to see. They drop the curveball in there, and there's nothing we can really do about it. That is not what you want. Kluber just absolutely demolishes Seager right there. But we come back with a strikeout of our own as Paxton fires a high fastball and gets the man swinging here in the top of the fifth. Still no run scored. Still one of those pitching duels that might not be all too exciting to the neutral fan, right, or the average watcher, but us baseball guys really like to see that. Seager will fire over the second out of the inning. Next up is Jason Kipnis, who took that leadoff walk a couple innings ago. See if he can do anything here. He misses on a pretty good-looking fastball, center to the zone. I don't know what he was looking for there, but clearly not what everybody wants. And then just absolutely looking silly on that changeup there as he strikes out. And down again they go. You can see, only 6 hits between us through, 5, really 4.5 now. See if we can turn around. Gene Segura's up. Already had him count 3-1. And he fouls off a decent pitch and draws the count to 3-2. That's a liner into left, and that'll drop for his first hit of the season. We got a man on, and maybe this is our inning. This will be the inning we finally get some runs across and break that tie. And, reward Paxton for how good he's been playing so far. Only that walk, that hit batter, and that one hit, I think, really is all that he's let up. Next is Ryan Healy, who singled and beat out the throw on a really good play to the shortstop Francisco Lindor. I think in the third inning. He's up again, and he strikes it down the left field line. That's going to be 2. Really need to send Segura here, but he got held up or something. He didn't respond to me telling him to go home till too late, so I had to pull him back. But anyway, we got a man on second and third, no outs, and this looks like this is going to be the inning that we finally get to Kluber here. Up next is Denard Span, who went down looking silly in his first at bat. Hopefully he can do a little bit more here as he grounds over to the first baseman, and the pitcher is not able to get over there to cover. Oh, Kluber can't cover. But anyway, the run scores, and Span gets in there with an infield single. So we finally break this 0-0 game open, 1-0, and we got a man on first and third. No outs, and still poised to do a lot of damage. They're going to leave Kluber out there as he's having a pretty good game so far. Just really this inning that he's not doing so hot. D. Gordon will drive that one up the middle for his second hit of the game, and that'll drive across Ryan Healy. Now we're up 2-0 with a man on first and second, and there looks to be no stopping us here as we just completely open up the game. Cameron Maben not starting as hot as we'd like, but he had a chance to drive in some runs here. He goes down and count early 2-1 and grounds out to second. And they'll get grounds out to third. They'll get the runner at third, but they can't quite get Maben over there at first. So we got a lot of speed on the bases. But with a 3-2 count and Nelson Cruz up, we're not going to do anything too stupid here, as we already got thrown out at third in the first inning. We're going to let Nelson Cruz, who's 2 for 2, have his bats. And yeah, if you didn't hate me after that first inning where we got thrown out at third, definitely now as Nelson Cruz goes down looking at a high fastball that had his name written all over it. And that's something we really needed. Zunino swings over this next pitch, and that's a rally killer right there. That if you go down looking, that's never what you want to see. And then Zunino just looks silly on an outside curveball, trying to do too much with nothing at all. And they get out of an inning that really should have cost them a whole lot more. The Indians will look to strike back here, though. Gomes is up, and he goes down looking. Paxton's building steam here. He's got the lead behind him. Nothing's going to stop him now. Rajai Davis is back up. He doubled in that first inning. Hasn't done too much since. He'll ground out to the shortstop here for the second out of the sixth. Oh, no, wait. He was actually safe. He beat it out a little slow there at short, so they have a man on. And he takes off to second, but that's ball 4. So what excuse me. So what started out as a simple, easy inning for Paxton is now led to 2 man on and 1 man out. And that is absolutely ripped by Francisco Lindor all the way back to the warning track. But unfortunately for him, it runs out of gas and really, just a very loud out number 2. But up comes, Josh Donaldson. My bad, that was Jose Ramirez who flew out to left field. Here's Josh Donaldson with 2 man on, 2 man out, and absolutely spanks that pitch. But again, just for a loud strike number 2, they can't get it into play. A nasty knuckle curve, but doesn't draw the swing, and is ball 2 here, so the count is even. Try to face him here with a high fastball. He fouls it off, able to stay alive. Tried again. It's now 3-2. The count is full. The runners will be moving on this one. And he ends up walking Donaldson. So his second walk in a row, and now the bases are loaded with 2 outs with Francisco Lindor up, and it is not looking good for Seattle, who just took the lead the inning before. We go down the count 2-1 early, and that's enough for us. We're sending out the manager here to just have a talk with him, calm him down, get the bullpen warming up, because right now it's not looking too good for Seattle, as they're looking like they're about to get rid of that lead that they just secured. Now, Paxton was not too happy about that mound visit and ends up throwing another ball, and it's not looking good. Now the count's 3-2 as Lindor is able to foul one off. So 3-2, bases loaded, top of the 6th, down by 2, and he grounds it out to the shortstop, who doesn't take his time this time and fires it over to first and is able to get the runner out. It's getting us out of that jam and keeping another goose egg up on the scoreboard. Nothing much going for us in the bottom of the 6th, so we'll flash forward back to the top of the 7th after Paxton kind of had that awkward inning there. This might be one of his kind of last innings. Yeah, especially as he nails Encarnacion right in the backs. I believe that's his second hit batter. He's getting tired. This will probably be his last one, Brandon Geyer, who's kind of batting at the bottom of the lineup, so we'll kind of give it to him. With 3-2 count, 1 man on, Paxton throws the pitch, and one batter too many. We left him in just too long, and that's not what you want to see. Is Paxton gives up the 2-0 lead on a 2-run homer here in the top of the 7th to Brandon Geyer, and we'll get a second look at that. That was a no-doubt shot all the way up into the upper deck. That one's not coming back, and that'll really, that'll be the night for Paxton. We didn't do too bad. I mean, looking at his stats, he went 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, gave up the 2 runs here on that home run. He did have 4 walks and those 2 hit batters, so control was definitely an issue. But 6 strikeouts, overall, being the first day kind of back of the season, it's not too bad. We'll put in Juan Nicasio here to get us through, hopefully get us through a couple more innings, and see if our guys can get some more runs on the board. But he does exactly what you don't want to see from an incoming reliever and walks the first batter and quickly goes down here on the second batter, 3-1. Manager's not going to be too happy about that, as Yan Gomes. I was checking to see who was up there batting, couldn't quite get it. Yan Gomes fouls off a couple. But yeah, manager's not going to be too happy about that leadoff walk, and especially not happy about this second walk in a row. We already gave up the run in the first inning, so we're going to go ahead and start warming up Zach Duke here in the bullpen just in case. But we're not really ready for this. We came into this inning, feeling good. And we've already given up 2, and now 2 men are on and no outs, and the Indians are looking to take charge of this. But Nicasio comes right back and gets Davis striking out looking. So again, Nelson Cruz went down earlier in the game, right? Looking when he had can do some real damage, and Davis does it here as well. Brantley drops it in just over the shortstop's head. Not enough to score him, but another little Texas leaguer that keeps this inning alive and fills the bases. Leaving up for Jose Ramirez with only 1 out in the inning. And Seattle fans getting a little nervous. It's it's been a good game up to this point, but now it's starting to get a little hairy here in the late innings. Counts even at 2-2. All he really needs to do is put that ball in play and not get into a double play. He fouls it off into the left field, though, but we can't quite get to it. That would have been good second out, not too far away that we can still throw out the runner. But that's even better is Nicasio gets Ramirez to strike out on the low fastball. And then Donaldson goes down quickly, 1-2. So we're looking like we're going to get out of this inning again. And I believe Donaldson was the last batter in the last inning. So second chance here to really help out his team. And he pops it up similar to the hit that dropped over the shortstop a little while ago. But this time, the speedster D. Gordon's able to get to it, and nothing much comes of it. Then we get another look here at the two-run homer that tied up this ball game. With nothing really going on in the bottom of the seventh for us, we'll fast forward back to the top of the eighth. Put in Alex Colomé here, and hopefully he can get us through to the ninth, or through so our guys can score a couple more runs here and pull us out the victory here on opening day. Immediately, though, that's rocketed into left field. Thankfully, Nelson Cruz makes a nice running catch on that, and we have one down in the inning. Edwin Encarnacion is up tonight. He takes ball 4. And again, our relievers are really struggling with the control. Same with Paxton. I mean, tonight it just hasn't been our night. A lot of walks here in this first game. But Colomé comes right back and gets Geyer striking out on that high fastball. I mean, that feels good after giving up that 2-run homer to him earlier in the game. At least we could get back a little bit, right? Take a little bit of measure of revenge. 3-2 count here. Another walk is given to this time to Jason Kipnis. Puts 2 men on with 2 men out here in the top of the 8th. And for the third inning in a row, these Indians are knocking on our door, trying to bring us down here in Seattle. That one's looped over, just over D. Gordon's head. This time he can't get to it. The run won't score, but that was our third Texas Leaguer of the game. A lot of balls just dropping in and finding spots. Not a lot of big-time hitting today, just a lot of, patient at-bats and a lot of, situational hitting from these Indians. Of course, and the 2-run homer that brought him back and made this game what it is right now. But with a 1-2 count, we get, I believe that was Davis again. We get him grounding out to the shortstop for the third out. And here comes James Hoyt as they finally decide to pull Kluber. I also put in Yonder Alonso there at first. But there's not much you really have to see of this 8th inning. It'll go by pretty fast. So we'll go with 1 there for Cam Maben. Next up is Nelson Cruz. He goes down 1-2 early as well. And the pitch, there's number 2. And there's number 3. Hoyt comes in and strikes out the side, and the Indians are just building. They're just getting better with every step along the way. We'll pull Colomé and put in Zach Duke as we're really going through our bullpen early here in this first game. But our bullpen's, gotten into a lot of sticky situations. They've got out of it. Haven't given up anything yet, but they've definitely made it interesting here in the late innings opening day. Duke will give up a line drive into center, putting the man on with no outs, and that's not how you ever want to start that 9th inning, especially this close and late. So we'll immediately get someone warming up in the bullpen. If Zach Duke's not going to be able to carry us through here, we want to get the next man in. Tension kind of growing here. The fans are getting on their edge of their seats as a battle's ensuing. 1-2 count and fouls off another one. We'd go for the low curveball to strike him out. Staying alive still. Staying alive. Another foul ball as the tension just builds. And how long, who's going to win this battle? Is Zach Duke going to be able to come through? Ramirez just refuses to go down. He wants to bring his team an opening day victory. But that's not how you're going to do it, as he strikes out on the curveball low and inside, swinging right over top of it, and he is not happy about that as he's throwing the bat up into the air. It's just not been his night. That was actually his third strikeout of the game. And the very next at bat, Josh Donaldson grounds into a double play, and Zach Duke gets out of the inning. Really not that much threat that first single, but after that he pretty much dominated the rest of this inning. And we get it back to our guys to maybe walk it off here right in the opening day. That'd be pretty cool. Mitch Haniger lead the way. He hits it down the third base line, but the third baseman cannot handle that and bobbles it a little bit. Haniger beats out the throw. They're actually going to score that a base hit. I don't know if that was I would call that a base hit. It seemed like it was kind of a weak dribbler down there. He was moving to his right and had to backhand it, but it was not that difficult of a play. But anyway, we have our first man on. Next pitch, Hoyt walks Seager, so not looking like the same Hoyt that came in and struck out the side earlier in the last inning. We have two men on, no man out here in the bottom of the ninth. Looking to walk it off, looking to bring our hometown fans some victory. We're not going to put anyone in at first base just because the first base runner really doesn't matter. If the guy on second scores, we're done. Gene Segura comes up. And he absolutely rifles that one into left field, but right to the left fielder. I believe I said right field there, the left field. Yeah, and goes down for the first out of the inning. So now we'll have Ryan Healy, who doubled for us earlier in the game. He's having a pretty big game, 2 for 3. He count 3-2 here in the bottom of the ninth. See if he can get it done for us here on this first day. And he'll hit that one. That's over the first baseman's head. Haniger's around and home, and he scores. So we go walk off here on the first day of the season. Seattle Mariners take an early 1-0 lead here against the Indians, and that, I don't know if I could have written it better myself, right, to really start off this franchise, start off my channel, right, with a walk-off win here late against the Indians. Healy having an absolutely monster game, going 3 for 4 with an RBI and a double. Just stellar way to really start out. I believe he got player of the game. I don't know if he'd given it to anyone else. Some other notables, Paxton went 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Zach Duke had the win on the night, only gave up a hit and struck out 1. D. Gordon had a pretty nice night with a double and a single and an RBI. A lot of strikeouts from our guys and a lot of walks for their guys. But anyway, an overall nice victory. Happy to get that first one under the belt. I think that's about all I have for you right now. Stay tuned for that next episode. We'll probably try to sim through the first half of the season or so, and then maybe look into some of the younger guys, seeing how the prospects are doing. Maybe do a spotlight for one of them. But if any of you guys have any recommendations, anything you want to send my way, feel free to drop those in the comments. Like I said, I want this to be collaborative. I want to work with you guys on this. I'm excited to see how this goes. Go ahead, leave a like. Go eat some pineapple. Go do a backflip. All that good YouTube stuff that I'm supposed to tell you after this. Until then, see ya.